Howdy everybody, it is April 18th and this is Ration Museum Bulletin number 38. Welcome to the stream. Let's say who's here. Okay, so already we got Jeremiah, we got Fordman, we got Jesse, April. Good to see somebody new. I don't think I've seen you in here before. Maybe not. But welcome either way. We got James, JW Speaker. Welcome everybody. Gail, howdy. I'm going to need to move this over here. That's why that was over here. Got it. Okay, so moved everything around so that everything could still be accessible and so that I could still do laundry and whatnot, because I think we're going to get some actual regular use out of this basement restoration space. So welcome to the newly set up or cleanly reset up space. We're going to be picking up where we left off with the RCI from last week, and we're going to be trying to get that in as good a shape as we can, stopping it from getting any worse at least. And then after that, we're probably going to move into, some meal combat individuals. So got a pile of those over there, got a pile behind me, and we're going to try and get those cleaned up as well. Some of them are leaking into each other, and it's no good. So let's see. We also have Curious Pete. Welcome. Good to see you. And we've got some mail for review. So let's see. This time around, I'm going to be doing the face covering again. I'm definitely going to do gloves. And I'll do a smark whenever we're opening something potentially explosive. And then I've got these instead of those heavy goggles this time, so that it doesn't fog up entirely throughout the stream and make it impossible to actually see anything. I think we got this whole space set up. Nick won't be joining this stream, so just a heads up. It's just you and me, guys. Like the old days. I'm sure we'll get him back next weekend, or when he can. So let's see. So these got spritzed with a little bit of solvent back in the lab upstairs, and it looks like it might have just kind of scuffed them a little bit, but it doesn't matter. Okay, there we go. Those will be perfect when the time comes. Hey, Kaylin, welcome. Hope everybody's had a good week. We are, flying through April already, and it's been a good one. It's been another good month. Getting all kinds of stuff done, moving forward with the museum. So between last stream and this stream, we finally finished all the paperwork we originally needed to finish in the state of Montana to officially get recognized at the state level as a domestic nonprofit. So we were listed as one, but we still had some outstanding paperwork that needed to be filed for the state, the Secretary of State's office there to sign off on it. So that finally happened, and now we're good across the board. We're still waiting on publication 78 with the IRS to get updated to include us. We were reapproved in December, retroactive back to when it was revoked in May, and everything's all good on paper, and we have our letter to prove it, but the digital system is still lagging months and months and months behind. I actually just saw a message that they're still processing paper tax forms from nonprofits filed last year in April. So it's going to be fun. Hopefully they get some of this stuff up to date, and then we can connect to more of the digital systems with that. So, just keeping everybody in the loop. Don't want to start a fundraiser without us being able to be looked up on like Charity Navigator and GuideStar again and all that. Hey, Yossi, welcome to the stream. I got a box right here from Yossi. That's some good timing. So that's all good news. So we have a better standing again, or a better background situation as far as like all the corporate paperwork goes. In general, I feel like I jumped the gun with forming a corporation in the first place. So long before there's anything really moving in terms of financing or any of the stuff that we had to worry about in terms of paying taxes. So without any corporate income, there's no taxes. And without doing any of the actual fundraising or documenting of what we're doing internally, all those other systems that we signed up for early on were probably a little overkill too. But either way, we have a whole ton of stuff in place. We're in a good spot. We're moving forward. So I'm excited. There's not too much left in getting all connected, and we can try and go to the next level of the museum's history there. I feel like I'm rambling. I'm gonna change topics and do some mail call. Definitely feel like I'm rambling there. Okay, so a little backstory. This arrived right after the last stream. So Monday afternoon, we got this box from Yossi. It had been attempted to be delivered Saturday before the stream, but we're in the office, Monday through Sunday, or Monday through Friday and Sunday, or I guess Sunday through Friday. Saturday's the only day nobody's there. So during the pandemic, somebody smashed our front doors and smashed into the spa that's attached to the first floor. So after that all got fixed up, well, while it was getting fixed up and after it got fixed up, we started locking the outer door on the weekends, and the mail person wasn't happy with leaving it out there, and wasn't our normal mail person, so they didn't have the key to get in, okay. I'm rambling about the mail now, too. Either way, we got the package Monday, and Yossi had sent some shakshuka and some pizza. Pizza, unfortunately, didn't make it in the mail, but the shakshuka absolutely did. And we cooked it up in the oven, and we cracked some eggs in there, and it was amazing. It was, I'm just thinking about it again. It was really fantastic. Nick and I had some, and so did a couple other folks in our office, Rob and Chris, who both were thrilled with it. So that was, just letting you know, that was fantastic. I'm not using the new webcam yet. That's actually in here still. I was trying to get all kinds of stuff set up for the stream, and I didn't get to a point where I could try and integrate this. So hopefully between now and the next one, I'll get that attached. But okay, so we had to eat the food, right away. So the rest of the box is still untouched, and just wanted to go through with you guys the rest of what Yossi sent us. I have just mouth watering over the shakshuka. I have losing my train of thought. Anyway, so we'll see what's in this box, and I keep thinking I'm going to catch that thought again, but then we'll check out the other mail that we've got. So, hey, this shirt's from Nick, by the way. So he picked us both up one of these from Grunt Style, and I'll let him talk about the company next time. They're a pretty quality company, supposedly, so I'll get myself caught up as well. But okay, so first thing in here, we've got. Let's see. I can switch on this one. There we go. The first thing, we've got gummy candy, and Nick and I got to both take a look at this, so we do have his reaction. That's what it was. That's what I was thinking. I have a video of Nick and I eating shakshuka and a bunch of pictures. I was trying to get that rigged up so that I could share that in here briefly, but I couldn't get that working just yet. So hold on, we'll share that eventually. It was really, really good. So we've got gummy candies made out of koala bears. I'm joking. We'll find out what these are. And there's a couple types of these. Looks like banana. And let's see, we've got a blue type and a white type. Let's see. And then we've got, this almost seems like a cereal. Yossi, any hints throughout here would be much appreciated. But it seems like a cereal. Hey, Robert, how's it going? And then we had some crackers. We had some crackers here that we did not realize were there until after we had the shakshuka. So we had it with army crackers instead of those, which, oh, it's something you put in soup. Oh, okay. We'll have to try that. These, I will admit, I opened up between streams, and I'm going to have another one right now. So these are like kind of caramel with cream inside, and they're fantastic. These things are really good. Okay. So speaking of Robert, welcome to the stream again, but hey, there's a can right here that says your name. So we got some cans of sardines. I am a big fan of sardines, so this was a good call, and we still have those crackers, so we can use those with the sardines for sure. And then, last but absolutely not least, Yossi sent us a camera. We are going to try and get this rigged up between streams. It has pan and tilt, which that'd be neat if we could get that to actually work over the internet. But with the stream or something. But we're going to get that set up so that we have a better overall picture quality for everything than the laptop camera that we were using. This right here is just a cell phone, and it's iffy. I think I got the focus locked in this time, and I added some filtering over top. So I don't know, it might be all right. Howdy, puppy breath. Welcome to the stream. But Yossi, thanks a ton for. Here we go for this haul. We're, like I said, we're going to be having snacks for eternity. You know, with how much stuff you've sent our way. You know, every time we do, we'll definitely make sure to let everybody know what we think. There's certainly no shortage of snacks on our stream. We've got that box back at the office with a whole bunch of other stuff you sent and stuff from JW Speaker, and you know, yeah, we do still have some stuff from Corey. So that's yeah, it's really fantastic. You guys are, you know, thinking about us and trying to help make our time on the stream, you know, that much more exciting. It's a ton of fun, you know, already, but you guys make it so much better. I just don't know what to say sometimes. So, wanted to get a little bit hydrated before I go into the protective gear, so to speak. But let's see. We got 2 more packages. These are eBay purchases. This was something Corey spotted and let me know. Wait, let's see. Is there an easy open on these? No. Okay, so this is something Corey spotted. And I'll get used to where the cameras are. And let me know. And it's something I've been keeping an eye out for a little while. It's not a military ration, but it is in a way. So these are, if I understand it, late 70s Mountain House rations. So these were part of their home stores, and I've seen some of the boxes. You know, it was just, you know, pretty much the same size as an MRE box. Mountain House, you'd stack them, and they were at the time advertised as good for up to 30 years. And I think a lot of these are probably still in perfect shape after that much time and more. So let's see. So not only was it a pretty good assortment of Mountain stuff in general, it covered pretty much all the, I think all of the types that they made at the time, which were color-coded. There we go. So we had yellow for breakfast, we had green for vegetables, we had orange for snacks, and red for entrees. So between this, we've got quite a bit of breakfast, but I believe all the breakfasts are the same. Let's see. Okay, so I think we have these 3 breakfasts. We're looking at freeze-dried scrambled egg mix. Now, these are awesome, feel-wise. They're very, they're very tight still, vacuum sealed. There's kind of like a hard edge where the inner label. Actually, no, that's probably not an inner label here. I don't know if you guys can really tell. There's kind of a hard edge here that goes around the whole thing. That in the older ones, you would put everything together, and then you would pull the top through a notch in that, and keep it from losing too much heat at the top or from spilling. So that's probably what that is in there. So this has Woodsy Owl on it, interestingly enough. Let's see if we can find a revision on here. Got a revision 4.7. We got 11.8 on the front. We got 6.4.3 over there. Really not 100% certain how to date this one. We've got these, lots of this sort. Let's see what you good guys are saying. Sledgehammer is an easy open tool. You're right, sir. Let's see. I might pop open one of those cans of sardines in a minute. I would like to share it with Nick, but we do have 2 cans. I really like sardines, so there's a good chance I might do that. But let's see. Yeah, so we've got revision 11.8, 11.8, 11.8, 3.7, 11.8, 4.7. Let's see, 4.7. But all these other stamps are 6.4.3 seemingly throughout, 6.2.6. So if these are 80s, it could be 86. And we're looking at like 43rd and 26th and 23rd and 25th days of 86. The number in there seems to make sense. Might be 76. I'm not certain. I don't know exactly. The guy, the listing was saying 79, but that doesn't seem to jive with anything on the packaging. If there is, some kind of standard to it. Let's see, so looks like this camera might be falling a bit behind every now and then. That's all right. It's just the focus camera. So we got green beans. Let's see. We've got carrots. There we go, cameras. We've got green peas. We got more green peas, probably some more carrots. Yeah, so we've got 2 of each. Peas, green beans, carrots, peas, green beans, and carrots. Okay, so we've got quite a few, and all this packaging, this is in really nice shape, so I doubt, this isn't like an anniversary edition, Mountain House. Oh, hey, let's go back to the vintage labeling. These are the same as the only one that I've ever come across, which is a good deal more weathered than this. So these were just kept extremely well, is all I'm thinking. Probably just went to a cool, dry place and stayed there for, several decades. So we've got 4 of the breakfasts, and they're all scrambled egg. That might be the only yellow one. I'm not sure. It might just be that yellow is egg mix, not necessarily breakfast. Let's see. We've got 2 of the oranges, and they're both peaches. So they're looking pretty nice. And all the packaging on here, no cooking required, ready to eat, approved by the USDA. Well, actually, some of them say approved by the USDA, and some of them just say Woodsy Owl. All right. And then as far as entrees go, we got a pretty good assortment, I think. So, as a finder's fee, I'm holding this one specifically for Corey. Out of the whole collection, I think that's only fair. And he didn't ask for it. I'm just saying that's that one's spoken for. But the other stuff, some of this stuff, I think we'll have for trade, and then we'll keep a couple examples of each type and be able to have a neat display on the civilian versions of the LRP food, because that's what this is. And then the peaches, they ended up becoming MRE food, though there were no LRPs that had side dishes of like freeze-dried fruit. Yeah, exactly. Pete goes together like peas and carrots. We got, peas and carrots. We got ourselves some succotash almost. So we got 1 sardines and olive oil. Is the other one mustard? Let's see. So we got sardines and olive oil. Oh, and sardines and soybean oil. Oh, all right, there we go. I think Nick would probably prefer the olive oil one, so I might start the soybean oil one. So, Fordman's saying a civilian version sounds like it'd be better than just the main. That's pretty much, think about if this was the civilian LRP at the time. This is pretty big. This is a large serving of green beans. So, if you had these 3 things in a backpacking meal, all tight packed together, maybe a little bit more densely than this, but still, this whole thing together weighs, I don't know, a quarter of 1/10 as much as a can of soda. Like, you could have, quite a few meals on your back and not feel it at all, and have a good variety there. So we got that 1 chicken stew. We've got freeze-dried chili with beans, 2 of those. We got a chicken and rice, and we've got a beef stew, and we've got macaroni and cheese. So nice wide variety of these things. Overall, very happy to come across those. So excited, I'm sure other folks will be cleaning out their attics and garages and stuff and decide to, get some new long-term storage food. But, honestly, they're probably wrong to do so, because that stuff, there's nothing wrong with it. I'm almost certain. We'll find out eventually. I am going to eat at least one of those things. So, getting hungry, Pete? Yeah, that's about what this stream is for, right? Well, except for when I'm showing you guys rotten food, then I would hope you're not getting hungry. Let's see. So, we've got mail call done, and let's take a quick look at some of the stuff we worked on last week, because I'm really happy with the result. And let's see, as a for instance, here's the pound cake. It's well, I still gotta finish scraping out the dried bit, but overall, it's in good shape. It held up. It goes back together just fine, and it'll display as if it's never been opened. So I think we can say that the technique is a success for cans, even with a good amount of rust. Also, we've got the applesauce, the black brick that we took a look at. The actual can has now been wax treated so that it won't rust where it's been exposed. Though that's aluminum, so I wouldn't think it's gonna super duper rust. But we do see some rust and corrosion down at the bottom where this may be steel. Actually, this is probably steel too. But we weren't seeing any corrosion really at that point just yet. But now that it's waxed up, it's not going to start. So same thing here. The bottom does just come right off, and it just goes right back on. I really like this tactic, this technique. I think we're going to keep using it to keep the cans in perfect shape. I mean, keep things in, well, not perfect shape, but in optimal shape for something that had food and no longer has food inside. So we've got a few more things to go through this week out of that ration, and then I'd like to get into some MCIs. So as a for instance, from last week, we had this accessory packet, which I think is still fairly good and potentially displayable, though we do still have to see what we can do to arrest some of the destruction in the paper. But now, take a look in there. Just compared to last week, it's night and day. There's no cobwebs and eggs and dirt and rot and whatever else was in there. But it's still not perfect, but it's better than it was, and it's not going to get any worse in its current state. We'll certainly want, in the longer term, to have a better means of preserving anything that's paper. But for now, taking the dirt and other rotting elements out of it is certainly a good first step. Yellow can is sardines and olive oil. Yep, wait, I'm still scrolled up. I'm just still looking there. Let's see. Used to pack cans of soda when you went camping. Yeah, beverage bases are a much better plan. That's a good call, Fordman, because like a gallon of liquid is 8 pounds. That's a lot. So the life straw, I don't know if you guys have ever used life straws. If you keep a general count of how much you've used one, they can purify, I think it's 300 gallons or maybe 500 gallons. But if you keep a log of how much you're drinking and overestimate, all you really need in a lot of spaces is one of those. And then as far as beverage bases go, you can boil some water and at beverage bases in your campsite. But always look into the area that you're going camping. Not everything can be taken care of with just boiling water. If you're going in somewhere that's harsh wilderness, just do some reading beforehand. Talk to the local park commission or the local ranger's office. You want to be aware if there's like mine runoff or anything that could be putting something in the water that's not going to come out in a reverse osmosis or ceramic filter, or boiling, that you just can't take any chances with. And out in Idaho, I know of a couple places like that, but it could be all over the place for all I know. So now, if you're going to a lake that is widely used for camping and boating, and is not covered in signs that say danger, water is incredibly poisonous, which the places in Ohio tend to do, or not Ohio, Idaho tend to do, then you're probably safe to boil and consume. But always check first, if you can. Yeah, exactly, Pete. Tap the button of your choice. Thank you. Thanks for the reminder, Pete. Always appreciated. And if anybody hasn't subscribed yet, we're slowly trying to get to 1,000 or more. But right now we're at 350-ish, which is pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. Folks keep slowly trickling in. Once we get some actual videos up on the channel, and it's not just the live stream, then I think we're gonna see some new folks in here. We'll see. Life straws break and leak. Research better options. Okay, good call, James. I'll have to look into that. It's been a long time. And that's certainly not something you want to take a chance with. If they're shown to fail, then throw my last advice away. Okay, so, hey Smokey. Good to see you. Alright, can't help it, I am going to try one of these. Sorry for the weird silence afterwards. I can't really talk while I'm chewing a great big gummy thing. Okay, so for opening the cans, all I'm going to do is the respirator, some gloves, and some goggles, just in case for some reason something, fritzes or spits out or whatever. But when we get to opening up the the sausage patties, I might need the sink. Anything that I do need the sink for, we'll use the full smock. So. Let's see. Oh, that was really good, by the way, that banana candy. That's dangerous. I like that too much. Yeah, I'm on my own this week, Smokey. For both Nick and I, the museum has to come, unfortunately has to come second to a couple other things in life. We both have a day job, and Nick's actually going through I guess you could call it night school. He's going to college again and getting fast tracked through because he's working his tail off, taking tons of programs. So, and then when he's got spare time, he helps out the museum too. So I mean, sometimes you can't make all that fit in the same day. No dress up this time. Well, like I said, if I think something might splash back at me, I'll definitely. But last time, I don't know if you guys noticed, the whole suit was filling with sweat. It was getting a little less than pleasant inside, and I didn't get anything on it at all. So. Let's see. Now, how loud does that get? Yeah, it's not too bad. So, the reproduction MCI, that thing was awesome. The one that I saw you looking at, what was that? That wasn't last night. I didn't see last night. Like I said, I I saw the one before that, though. I thought you had opened it. Maybe you were just looking at pictures still. But, you know, it does look pretty darn good. So you can, like, you could pop those tops and you could put a can of, you know, Vienna sausages back in each top. That's pretty neat. Hey, Marilyn, welcome. You're here for the good part. Well, it's all the good part, right? Okay, so we've got the B1 unit that we're going to open up. You know, actually, I think the respirator's overkill for right now. We'll see what's looking like inside here. So last time I really needed it because if you remember when we opened up the the accessory packet, it was filled with tiny little fibers and mold and all kinds of things. We'll see what's in here, and if it seems a little too dangerous to go without it, I will certainly pop that back on. So, oh, you ate it. Nice, nice. So for this one, you guys can see, you know, there's already been some rust and there's a hole through it. So this is not a perfect shape B1 unit. It does look, you know, pretty good from the outside, but I'm sure inside it's going to have suffered some damage, especially with all the bugs that we know have been living inside that case for all that time. That's another thing. I wanted to be able to then go to a slideshow and show you guys me opening that case 6 or so years ago. But we'll have to, I'm going to keep working on it. So we'll get the stream better one little tiny bit at a time. Let's see. So, yeah, nothing looks bloated, but it is eaten through in a couple spots. So we're going to want to take down this rust, and we're going to want to get the contents out, and then we're going to wax the rust, or wax the exposed metal with Renaissance wax, and you know, we'll go from there. We just want to make sure we're doing the best we can to get these items cleaned back up. So. And also, like last time, ooh, I just pushed this into the blade there. Okay, like last time, we've got the sideways can opener. So what this does is, you know, if we can even get it visible, there's tiniest crimp that it puts into the edge of the can. Let's see. Yeah, you can almost see it right there, but not quite. But it crimps because it's gripping on the inside edge here, and on the outside edge, it's cutting in and folding under and folding up, so you get what's called the smooth edge. Now, when you're dealing with rusted cans, like these are, where the rust is, it'll snap and crack along that edge instead of smoothly bending. So you do still end up with very sharp bits in a couple spots, like on those last ones. So I'm expecting this corner here to be pretty tough to deal with and have to take going over a couple times. But other than that, so we're going to start right after that rust so that we can end there. We'll start with a good solid chunk of can, and with this, you open it a couple turns left to pull the little cutting head, the crimping head away. Then you put it back on, and when you give it a couple turns, the first few, you feel it pull in and tighten. And once it gets all the way in, then it starts to rotate around. So it's a neat little system. Oh, I'm going to want to be on the other side of this because it's going to go that direction. So let's see. It is rough all the way, but we're going to start here. All right. Here we go. I'm just going to be putting some downward pressure on here so it doesn't want to slip with the rust. And to keep it very even, I'm just going to do my best to keep this can in good shape as I can. It's slipping a little on some rust, but if I keep moving it manually, we can get through that. The other benefit to this is we don't have to go around the actual little peel back top. We get to keep the key on the bottom, and because we didn't punch out the bottom, that displays similar to how this does. It'll scan well too. That's another benefit. Excuse me. So I had a ration before the stream. I didn't want to be eaten while doing all this, and it was another one of those AmeriQual disaster meals. I'll admit I bought a lot of those. I really like them. At first, I was just stealing the pound cakes out of them and then sticking them in my cabinet. So I still have a bunch upstairs to go through. So now, is the guilt side of it where I have to eat those actual meals before I, raid any other rations in the basement. So today was a vegetarian taco pasta, and it's really good. I like those. We're getting up to the spot where there was a hole in it. So Fordman. Yeah, these so what you want to search is smooth edge can opener. They're about $10, which to me seems a little expensive for a can opener. But I'm also from the past and keep thinking things cost 1990s money, and I don't know if that'll ever stop. But overall, I don't think it's highway robbery for one of these. But especially for restoration, this has been a fantastic tool, and I'm very happy with it. So now we screw backwards and we lift off, and we can take a look around the edge. So we don't have to lift off there. We actually probably shouldn't, now that I think about it, because you use it as a kind of a prying edge and you pop. But that does dent this a little. I was seeing maybe I could flex, but I think we got a good cut all the way around. Let's see if I can get this to focus here. Yeah, there we go. You see that? I think that's a really nice shot. So that's all the way around the can. We have that little cut, in the side. Versus the other side, if you take a look at the top, you see it's just a complete, lip there all the way around underneath. So for what we get, I think it's very worth the the small amount of damage it does. Okay, I'm going to put this on just to open this up. That's a little bit of a tight spot there, but there we go. Okay, so this does not look to be in too bad shape. So there's no bug casings or anything crazy in there. We've got this nicely separated top. And let's see what we've got. So the bottom of the can had a little paper layer. It's in good shape. So not a lot of anything coming down, which makes me think that this hole was probably from the outside in. So now let's take a look at what comes out. Rust. Let's see. It is meant to open from the other side, so this might be a little difficult. Let's see. Don't want to do too much to get it started. Okay, here we go. Now this is going to be where the food side of it is. Okay, not too bad. Hey Sharon, welcome to the stream. We are still working on that RCI from last week, and I know I've said RCI a bunch of times so far, but Ration Combat Individual. The RCI was a step between small detachment rations and mountain rations and 5-in-1 rations and all that kind of stuff, and the MCI. So it was the C ration after the C ration, technically. So it was the next step of that. So C rats technically, I would say, could still be applied to MRE if you think about it, in the sense that the term C ration continued to be equally applied to RCIs and then MCIs following the field ration type C. So, ooh, smell of these is coming out. Just like old, like old cardboard, maybe old bread-ish. Hey, Dub C, welcome to the channel, or welcome to the stream. Sorry. We are working on this RCI. Right now, we're working on a B unit or B1 unit that had some holes in it and some rust. So we opened from the bottom, and here's what's come out so far. Nice little stack. Let me get this a little closer here. So this is the start. We're going to see what all is in here. Okay, we've got the paper liner that went around these, and this is going to be interesting to try to get out. So this puck of cocoa sits right on the top of the can. So when you take this strip out all the way around and take the top of the can off, it's sitting right there to just lift off. Whereas right now, what we're going to need to do is kind of shimmy it out of this can. A tiny little bit at a time if we can. Getting it to kind of rock back and forth between 2 points that it's making contact with in there. See if we can get that to keep coming. The strangest drum solo you've ever heard. With this in mind, we may try the same method on the top of future ones. If this has an issue coming out. I do love, though, this whole ration was packed by the Booth Fruit Company, and they also tagged the B units, specifically. They all had, everything else was packed elsewhere, but so they packed the boxes, and apparently they packed the B units. See, they look almost edible. Yeah, no, I don't think they do. I think there's sizable amounts of mold on those. And just another lesson from over the last week: bread mold is incredibly dangerous mold. There's a lot of molds out there that you can come into contact with, and there's nothing really that harmful. There's a lot of molds that you can directly ingest intentionally that aren't a problem. In a lot of fancy cheeses, for instance. Cheese mold tends not to be something that can cause us a lot of harm, mainly because it doesn't produce mycotoxins. So bread mold grows kind of a tendril-like web into the bread, and as it's eating the bread, it's outputting mycotoxins, which can do all sorts of harm to human beings. I'm really not sure if I'm going to be able to get this out of there just by shaking it alone. I mean, granted, it's not You know, it doesn't look bad in there. The crackers, I guess we're not going to keep once we clean this out, but this can, let's see what we've got going on here. See if we can get this to come up at all. Just trying to get a little bit between the actual plastic with the back of the knife. I mean, or between the wax paper or whatever this material is, as best I can. See what we're dealing with. It's mostly separate, but there is there are a few little bits here where it's sticking together. Okay, so we've got potentially peach jam leaking as the cause of some of this. I'm thinking that's what this is. Let's see. Smokey's saying eating some nasty things. Yeah, that cornflakes episode of Eating History. I'm thinking of that. That did not look good. Your face a couple times throughout. Okay, I'm gonna put on a mask as I bring these a little closer. All right, so we've got some black dotting throughout. So I wouldn't necessarily, even breathe too close to that one, let alone try to eat it. Similar here, these aren't cracked pepper, these are essentially like pilot bread almost. But yeah, there's a little bit of black mold throughout. Oh, here we got a little buddy. Let's see. There we go. Along for the ride. So that's an insect casing. It moved around there for a bit. It almost made me think something was still alive in this case. So a little bit more mold and darkening. Let's see. I just bumped the camera. That's not me shaking this time. Oh, I should talk a little louder, I realize. Sorry about that. I forget that I have to pretty much yell when I'm wearing this thing. So, then we've got this section, which these two are as one. Oh, there we go. No bugs made it into that section. It's interesting that bugs made it in here and didn't thrive, but overall this section's not in horrific shape. I'm going to see if I can get this in there at all. No, I don't think I'm going to be able to fit anything in between those. I mean, some of these we may need to open both sides, but I really don't want to if I can avoid it. Let's see, what is that getting caught on? Oh, there we go. So, oh, there we go. We've got The cocoa beverage powder puck, that we can keep. That's in good enough shape. This is probably a partial, a good chunk of the smell in here. There's no way this is good. With everything that's happened to this case, the obvious, intense heat it went through, the bugs that have lived throughout. I mean, right there's a little bit. Just making sure. Oh, no, I always do that in the middle of the stream. That's my reading announcement thing, or reading reminder thing that I forget is going to go off. Okay, so we've got our cocoa beverage powder puck. And we've got this can of jam that we can potentially restore. The crackers we won't keep. We'll try and get a quick photo of those at some point after the stream. But this jam, I'm going to see what we can do. So this time I remembered to bring a sponge down here. I got a fresh one. This will be its only purpose. And let's see, grab a couple paper towels over this way. Just so get my hands dried off after. So first we're gonna work on getting some of this off of here. So now that I'm thinking about it, I'm gonna bring the camera a good deal closer to this area and hopefully give you guys a little bit better view. All right. Do that so you don't have to see all the jiggling. All right. Okay, there we go. Now, let's see how much closer we can get there. All right. Now, let's see about taking off some of this remnant jam or contents of something else from inside the case, whatever it might be. So this is one of those where the whole top of the can would get punched in. You can see there's like a little line right above the word through. Over that little rise, there's a line after that. So those lines, are like the part of the top of your soda can where when you punch the top in, there's that line around the tab and it goes, down, or I mean, not the tab, the metal piece on the top of the can that gets punched inside. That's the same as this. That is a weak point structurally, in the same sense as we've seen on previous streams where the punched numbers are a weak point that generally are the first spot to rust through or eat through in the case of acidic foods. Murray, welcome to the stream. Good to have you. G Schultz, same. I don't think I caught you when you came in. So we're gonna work on getting all this off the edge here, and then we're gonna see if we have any rust we have to seal, and then I'm gonna take the top off of this, and we're gonna clean it up over in the sink over there. So we're gonna try and keep the punch out part, completely unpunched, which that's my goal here. And it's already darkening the water quite a bit. So that's, to be expected. I'm going to try not to use the rough side at all, but there's still going to be some, some points where the yellow coating is just gone underneath. Yeah, the jam definitely had some acidity to it, I would think, like Kaylin's saying. See, we are taking this material off. It may just be a slow process, and slow is how things have to work in restoration. Slow and careful, because you don't get a do-over. Well, let me just find another can of peach jam from 1955, and we'll just get cracking on a do-over. So just working our way through, which, let's see if we can get a little bit better lighting on that. Let's see, there we go. It's a learning experience. Overall, I think this is going to clean up pretty good and be very displayable, even if there was some sizable bleed through or damage along this punch out line, which this spot that I'm working on right here seems to be something that had a good amount leak, or seems to be a spot where a good amount leaked through. And overall, I think there's a number of spots that came through. So I don't think it's any one point of failure on this. I think it's an overall, concept of failure. Sorry, I got an itch in the mustache line there. It's going to be driving me nuts while I work with this, I'm sure. But I think the whole punch-out can concept for, acidic items like this was just a bad idea overall. You don't really see too much do it these days, but Belgian rations do it, French rations do it, and I honestly don't know. Some of those entrees might start to leak through some of those lines after time. Appetizing, says Pete. Yeah. We're just going to get a little water down there on the thicker stuff and let it set in for a minute. That's going to drive me nuts. Smokey's saying he's got a can of peach jam from 55 or 56. So there we go. We got our do-over right there. It has a pinhole in the punch-out line. So, if it wasn't in such rough conditions, I would think there'd probably only be one or, maybe 2 points of failure. But with this, there's so far, I think, quite a few individual separate pinholes. And there is also the possibility that some of what we're looking at came from the can next door, so to speak. Since we do know that a good deal of what's in this case was leaking out and kind of sitting in the box for a good long time. This could be the remnants of some pork sausage patty, whatever juice was in there with it, or the other sausage looking thing. I forget what it is already from last week, but we'll see in a minute. That's just a can of horrifying looking rust. And I'm sure anybody who was here a couple months ago when we did the first restoration stream upstairs, remembers those sausage patties that came out as just little dirt pucks, just little dirt pucks. There's only so much you can do to save the old stuff, and it's not going to do anybody any good to hold on to, essentially pieces of dirt at that point. But actually, let me not say nobody, because if we had a good enough setup someday, we might have a bit more laboratory involvement with stuff like this, and could do some tests and see how much of the original material still even existed there, or see what's happened specifically, a little more educational than what we're doing now, I would think, which is, amateurs working on preventing further damage as best they can. Hey, Bus Stop, welcome. Good to have you. So let's see, we're just trying to get this last little bit here to soften up and come away from the can. It's the thickest spot from the corroded remnants. but we're going to need it gone in order to get the smooth edge can opener around here. But overall, I think we're doing pretty good in opening this up. Like I said, there's just some sections where the yellow, or where the yellowish tint is gone from having been eaten away by the jam coming through. But other than that, it's in great shape, and I think the smooth edge technique is going to make it very nice to display. Which, coming out of this, overall, everything in that sense that's displayable is a win in my book. You know, and like I said, someday I'm going to get to show you guys the actual pictures of this whole case when it first got opened up. And it was really bad. Okay, we're getting there on this. Oop, bumping that around. Boardman's saying, talking about trying to save the sausage patties reminds them of the 1800s. They tried to preserve a bog mummy by smoking it like bacon. Oh, wow. A lot of stuff, it gets preserved really well in bogs. There's, you know, like 1,000-plus-year-old butter comes out of bogs and would technically be edible. You know, some of it from, you know, the core, but yeah, bogs, mud, that kind of stuff. You know, it's too dense for oxygen to you know, to do its thing, and you know, even water to an extent is a really good preserver. It's just, you know, moving water not as much, but there's a lot of stuff that would be, you know, dried up and broken up pretty quick if it was on the surface that has survived thousands of years, you know, waiting for us to discover it, you know, thanks to being encased in mud or water. Mud is definitely better for a lot of things, though. You know, you think about like the tanks they're finding and pulling out of the ground from World War II over in Europe that had, you know, sunk in mud and sunk more and more and more, and some of them after some work can even get fired back up. All right, just working on this, almost. Let's see, so here we're at. I think most of what's left is rust, but there's still a little bit back there. There we go. That needs to come out. That's not rust. It's still actual jam. Getting the sponge good and grossified, but you know, that's what it's for. You know, and then we'll also be able to put down a layer of wax on this, and you know, it should keep pretty well. Almost. I hope you're somewhere warm if you're camping out in the open. Bust out. Just bivy bag and some stars. Sounds pretty nice. I mean, unless it's unintentional. And it doesn't sound as nice. Oh, well, that's neat. Is that? Yeah. Okay. Well, I uncovered a little symbol on this that is still pretty legible. That was under some of this slime. Well, really, it was pretty dry. Wasn't really slimy until I started dampening it. Let's see if we can see this. It's going to be hard to focus it. A little kind of Pac-Man. It's actually, yeah, it's not. That's not going to focus all the way. It's actually a series of concentric, you know, rings. It's it's really interesting. It's the same shape as Burning Man, just a city. It's like that with one wedge cut out. But that's the closest thing I could think of to that. So that's interesting. But we're going to try the smooth edge can opener around this. We're going to pop this off, and we're going to get over to the cleanup sink and see what we can do over there. Before I get talking to Bob Sauerline. See, Gail says, fun history fact: ground up mummies were once used in medicine. Yeah, yeah. You know, we as humans made some interesting choices over the years. All right, so let's try the smooth edge can opener on this peach jam. First, actually, let's take a look and see what we can spot on here, if there's anything in terms of dating. I don't see anything. Nope. So this is from, let's see, there we go. Kern Foods Company in Los Angeles, California. Better known for peanut butter, I think. Prolific provider there. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to get this on here, and then we're going to crank it in, let it snap into place. And then this one's not so... Actually, no, I will keep some downward pressure. This one's not so rusty. I'm going to trust it the normal route. You know, and it also doesn't, tear the paint off as it goes around, which is nice. Or in this case, the coating. Oh, I did that again. I keep forgetting I want to leave this connected so that I can then use it to pry. Oh, uh-oh. So that's a possibility. So I'm lifting here, and I don't know if you can tell, but this punch line separated here, which means this is still holding the jam underneath. So I'm going to go from this side, but that's all right. Ooh. So it's very crystalline, very shiny. I mean, to me, I know it's hard to come through. It looks like, it looks like a canister of like diamond dust or something. There's the upper lid. So overall, that little crack, it's not too bad, and that's where a good amount of that cleaning pressure was. So I don't smell anything. I mean, my sense of smell is not the best, but I don't smell anything coming out of it. It does look like a lot of nope. I'm gonna scoop it out first, and then we're gonna go see if we can get it washed up. And then we've got a okay condition can of peach jam to keep. So let's take a look at. Let's take a look. Oh, it's still a little bit soft. It's like tar. Ooh, that's crunchy. So yeah, this is done. This has seen much better days. We're going to lift out most of it as a puck, it looks like. Oh, now I smell something. Pretty much smells like, Fig Newtons or something. And the very nice extra about this This is not sharp on the inside edge. So I'm able to clean around this. Oh, I should be on camera. Sorry, guys. I'm able to clean around this with a good amount of pressure on that outside edge, and I'm not worried that I'm going to get cut as a result. So it's the cut is folded in on the outside, so it really is smooth all the way around. It can be handled, safely. Like I said, it's only when the rust keeps it from doing its job and folding underneath that you end up with a sharp bit sticking off somewhere along the edge. But this is cleaning up all right. I mean, may not need to go over to the sink at all for this one. May just stick to the sponge. No, I still gotta go a little bit more with just paper towel, I think. Smokey, you missed all the old Mountain House stuff at the beginning. That's one thing you'll want to go back and take a look at. I opened up those boxes of 1970s, potentially 1980s, from the cardboard puck part. I'm thinking 1970s. Mountain House entrees and fruit and breakfast, well, eggs and peaches. So quite a nice collection there. Going to be trading some, eating some, and keep a full set or two for the museum. Looks like a can of snuff. A little bit. So it shouldn't be a can of, heavy tar, I don't think, right? Almost. Oh, I keep doing that. All right, I'm going to take this over to that sink, and we're going to get it cleaned up as best we can over there. So, let's see. Nope. Nope. Yep. All right. I'm going to do my best to do this quick without it. Oh, shaking. Oh, well, I can do that. No, can I? Yeah, I can do that. This is the part that's not so well set up, but this will work. Okay, so here we are in Sink Town. You can actually get a little bit more like here, probably. There we go. That's what came off the outside. Set that up for the next section we want to clean. And let's clean this out. Ooh, wrong direction. I'm going to try, see if this is the hot water. Okay, sorry about that, but now it's actually getting warmer. So we do want a little bit of warm water to work on this. See. I hope you guys can see. I'm going to have to evaluate from what you say afterwards, because I can't see the chat while I'm doing this part. That's okay. I'm just going to do this for a minute. get the actual jam out of there. Huh. Just decided to stop on its own. Okay, just about done with the inside. A little bit in the outside, like just in this little ring around the very edge. Okay, and then we'll do the lid. See, and we're also trying not to break that punch-out seal if we can avoid it. Almost. Hope you guys are enjoying this. You know, some catharsis and seeing some cleaning maybe. Assuming you guys can even see the cleaning. Maybe I have to be this far down. That'd be awful. Come back and you're saying you didn't see anything. All right. Okay. No, I couldn't really do anything about the sound of the water, so apologies there. Oh, I'm going to have to bring that camera all the way back around, aren't I? Okay. Grabbing some paper towels. Smokey's talking about buying a used car. I would not envy anybody going through that right now. The car lots can, you know, pretty much use the current situation to their advantage. Pressuring appointments and all that kind of thing. Acting like they have less availability than they really do. All right. This. There we go. I'm trying to cover up the camera when I move it so that I don't give anybody motion sickness. But I'll also give a warning. Let's see. Before I start. There we go. Before I start moving stuff, just so folks can look away if they want to as well. All right, so we are back over here, and we're just going to dry this off, and we're going to see where, if anywhere, we need to wax it. And there is still a tiny, tiny bit, some of the really caked on stuff, and then some of this is just kind of eaten through to the point where what's left is like rust that looks like jam. All right. So, let's see, you can see the outside edge here. Nice smooth edge all the way around. And we've got the base here. think that cleaned up nice. So we'll be able to store that like that. You know? Just looks like a can of jam. I'm really happy with that. Just looks like a little can of peach jam, like it's still sealed up, even though it has been properly emptied of its, caustic contents. So that's a success. I'm very happy with that. Mountain Dew throwback. That's the kind with real sugar in it. Yeah, that one's all right. I'm on the diet stuff these days, but and I've gotten used to it, so it's all right. But yeah, cane sugar versus high fructose corn syrup. All right, so we're gonna take the sandpaper to a few little tiny spots of exterior rust. Just gonna arrest it as best we can. I'm gonna touch up this spot in here. Just trying to get the rust agitated a little so that when we put the wax on there, it's not just 100% on top of the old rust. It can be on top of some of the rust, and it'll seal in there. But we want to expose what we can of the metal, and then just keep it from getting any worse. I know I say a lot of the same things on this stream. Apologies, I'm mixing focus around, and it's a learning process while I go. So I'm just kind of lost in thought sometimes and mumbling. All right, we're gonna just put a little layer of that wax over the rusted bits. I mean, it's smooth. I really do like this technique. You can barely even, if it focuses. You can barely see that little cut in where this folds in. All right, so that's good. Put a tiny little touch up down there. Tiny dot on the outside. Okay. And then for the top, it's going to treat that space that we exposed that was under all the rotting jam. And then give it a little buff down. And that should be good as well. There we go. Now we'll just do the same on the underside. And I think this will be ready to display and or store without worry for a very, very long time. There we go. Perfect. I mean, as best it could be for its age. And this puck, you know, this is very displayable as is too. I'm just going to see if we can get any of this off, if it's even anything really stuck on there. So this, no, that's the actual cocoa right there. So something kind of ate away some of the plastic there. But other than that, you know, and there's a little bit eaten away there, but other than that, that's in good shape. So inside this can, however, is a different story. So we've got quite a bit to try and clean up in here, if possible. Not even certain where to start. Since this is a thin layer, I think I'm going to start with a brush, and actually I'll start with a heavier foam brush, just to give it, just to pull a little bit on all this in here. Oh, thanks, April. I appreciate that. Yeah, I think that one came out okay for what it for how it started out. All right, that's looking a good deal better already in terms, well, I guess it's going to be hard for you guys to tell. It's a lot more subdued. So now I think with this one, since this is all rust and not jam, I'm going to go ahead and start applying this to the heavier spots of rust inside. Which might be a good deal of this can internally. But then we're good. Yeah, I'm going to need to take a good chunk here to do the bottom of this. It's sticking to the rust pretty well. You know, with like an old classic firearm or something, like I was saying last stream, you don't want to sand it down and take the patina off. So you need something that's going to penetrate and, then seal over the surface so that there's no more oxygenation of the actual iron inside, or oxidization of the iron inside. And so this is formulated, you can put it directly over the rust, but on the outside, anything on the outside that's really rusted, I'd like to buff it down a bit so that we just have that single molecule layer of rust pretty much, instead of like a crusted, rusted, like a rust crust on top of everything. So this is going okay. It's really hard to see. I'll need another light, I think, down here. But yeah, all of it's, you should notice, getting a good deal darker. There we go, because it's it's coating and sealing it, and it darkens it up. Makes it look almost a little wet. When it's done, which for old firearms and stuff would actually look pretty cool. For here, I want it as subtle as we can on the outside, but still, you know, it can still be a little rusty. That's fine. Like this part right here, we want to preserve, we want to keep it. Yeah, this camera's like 3 seconds behind at this point, but you know, I'm not going to sand it. It's way too thin. So we'll see how much of this actually sticks around as a result of getting coated like this. Yeah, this is way behind video-wise. There we go. Just gonna take off the excess. All right. Oh, I keep doing that, leaning away from the camera. All right, just a little bit more on the inside edge here. And I think we've got this well encoded. Good and coated. There we go. We'll pop that over there, and then we have to do the same with this. This I am going to take this hard sponge to again. We're going to try and get as much as we can off of there. Thanks for coming by, April. I love how I'm like, oh yeah, we're just going to get through this RCI, and then we're going to blaze into the next couple things. You know, we're going to get through a can and maybe two cans. We'll see. But you know, I hope it's interesting to some of you guys, because this is, you know, this is the reality of this kind of work. Just trying to rough it up a little bit. Get all the big stuff off, but it's just rust. None of that's caked on jam. Sorry for all the pauses. Like I said, brain's all over the place today. All right, so I'm gonna take this and we're gonna coat all the rust. We're just gonna coat the whole inside, I think. Put a couple dots around. All right, so watch it, you know, soak in. It gives it more of that dark metal, you know, patina that you might see in museums where they've done something like this to seal in some older metal. Definitely put a little much on there, but that'll come off. So there we go, and then we're just gonna touch up a lot of these little bits on the outside. You know, some of this, I'm hoping eventually I'll do some of this, you know, off stream and record it and trim it down and you know, release it a little more traditionally. Since some of this stuff is a little bit hard to, you know, well, not hard. It's a little bit unsuited for, like, you know, a live broadcast since it's a little slow. But if we're talking, you know, if you guys are talking to each other and you're having a good time, well, I'll keep doing these on camera, or I mean on the Sunday streams, you know, every now and then. I am going to get back in the actual museum next week. Not sure what we'll do, but you know, just to keep the scenery going and to keep anybody from starting theories like, hasn't been in the museum in a little while. Is the museum there? Like, you know how people get on YouTube. They're crazy sometimes. All right, I'm doing the clean off camera thing again. So we're pretty much there on this one. And we're all sealed up. We can put this back together. I'm not going to put the jam or anything back in here. We can keep them together, but not going to put that stuff back in the can. So far, here's the rescued items from this B unit. You know, it's just very dark on this camera. I wonder if I have a filter on there that I didn't intend to. I bet I could clean that up pretty quick. Let me see. Studio mode. No. Let's see, just bear with me 1 second. I'm just seeing if I can lighten this picture up. See if this tone helps. Nope, that yellows it out a bit. None of these look quite right. Overall, I'm gonna just leave it at none. Yeah, I think no filter is the best look. There we go. Okay. Sorry about that. Couldn't help it. Had to try. Just messing with this one little bit at a time, over time. It's funny you mentioned Jeremy Clarkson. I've been watching a lot of Top Gear lately. Old, you know, Clarkson, Hammond, May, Top Gear. Yeah, he does not go easy on the American cars. But I mean, he loves his Ford GT, even though it breaks down all the time. You know, Hammond imported an F-150 for personal use. They all hate the Corvette, you know, but they especially hate the Anniversary Edition Corvette. Let's see. So all that stuff turned out pretty good. What else can we open up? Might run over a little bit today. See, so we've got a B2 unit here. And these are really, you know, to be honest, these are pretty hard to see even sitting here. It needs just the right angle to make that out. But there we go. It's September 1955. So this one has like a growth almost coming off the side. That's almost certainly like sausage coming through from a neighboring can, just because there really shouldn't be anything at that level. So this one has crackers, candy, and jam. So the candy is probably going to be like a fudge puck or something like that. I'm not 100% certain for 1955. So let's find out. You know, we're going to see the jam is going to be at the bottom again. Everything did work out the last time, so I'm not going to change anything. I'm going to go in through the bottom. We're going to see. Let's see. Hammond had a classic Mustang too. Hammond had a lot of stuff that is destroyed as well. So there was just a little bug casing right there. I'm just going to clean that. Okay. Oh, and howdy, Rachel, by the way. Didn't say hi when you first joined. Let's see. So, we're just looking around this edge, seeing if there's any danger zones. This is a danger spot, but other than that, we got a nice clean edge going around. So I'm going to start right about here and go around beyond there. So backing it up, clamping it down, putting downward pressure and moving forward. And it definitely ate up some of that rust edge right away. I saw it kind of peel back, but it caught after that. So yeah, Hammond definitely was pretty good at crashing other people's cars. And you know, it certainly was never just an act. He ended up in the hospital quite a few times. You know, he was in a coma for like weeks at one point. But hey, he got to go really fast. You know, it goes to show, even with safety equipment. Robert's talking about a 1898 Chicago World's Fair 50-cent piece. Oh, interesting. Is that the World's Fair where H.H. Holmes killed all those people? I think it is. The Chicago World's Fair right before the turn of the century. Philly World Fair was 1876. It was the Centennial World's Fair, and there's still Centennial Park and all that stuff. As a result, there were all kinds of exhibition buildings that are now like industrial city supply buildings and stuff. Oh, you traded meatballs and rice and barbecue sauce for that coin. Well, you know, reach out. You're in luck. I can almost certainly hook you up with a meatball in rice and barbecue sauce MRE. I've got those 91 MREs that are in edible condition. I can't remember if there's one in there. I think that's from that year, or that exists in 91. But yeah, we can fix that if you're looking for that particular menu. I think I can help. Okay, so I did the exact same thing again. I took the can opener off because I'm a forgetful person sometimes. But we got a nice clean cut all the way around. I'm going to start not in the rust because that'll likely break. All right, let's see. Ooh, that's a little tight. Let me go around a little more again. See if a second pass opens this up a little better. All right. Starting to have the seal give a little. I bet I know why it's a little tough. There's probably some jam in there. Well, we'll see. Guess we'll see. There we go. Okay. Yeah, had to break that seal. Ooh. Should have had this on first. Okay. I'll try and remember to shout this whole time. But yeah, okay. So it's definitely in worse shape than the last one internally. You can see the imprint in there, but let's see. No, I don't think this one's going to play nice. I'm just going to give it a little squeeze, try and separate a little bit. So this might be a pretty difficult one. All right, Robert. Yeah, don't let me forget. Reach out. You have my email address. I mean, well, over there. But yeah, reach out. We'll get that figured out. Just, if that's a particular one you like, I think I can help you out. Oh. I think it's just the crackers kind of shifting in there. I'm going to pick a strong looking chunk of the can and I'm going to try some prying. You don't want to try too much of it, but this liner is not going to survive, so I'm not too worried about that. I'm just more worried about the can inside, the jam, because as we've seen, we should be able to save it even in pretty rough shape. I feel like it might be starting to move. Well, it is. Almost. At least this can's in better shape than the last time, or the last one in terms of like the base. It's not about to break. Now this paper I am just going to break off in that sense, just so it's not in the way. Alright, almost there. There we go. Okay, let's see what comes out. Alright. We've got... Ooh, alright. We've got more bread crackers. These have some very obvious salt on them versus these. I would go so far as to say salted and unsalted. And that's on all of these. I don't think that's, yeah, that's salt, I think. Let's see. Maybe that's mold? Yeah, that does look like salt. I'm not sure. I'm going to put those over there. Alright, we've got plum jam. 1955 plum jam. From Palmer Foods in Nolens, Louisiana. Who's our Nolens boy in here? I think that's Jesse. I could be wrong. I think that's Jesse. See, Robert's saying,
took the seat off and set it up next to a box. Made for a great toilet. Oh God, from the MRE cases where they got square but they had a sleeve still. I could see that. I mean, that is some pretty heavy plastic. Okay, let's take a look at this. We got some rust for sure, but no leaking or very little leaking. Unless it was mainly leaking out of the bottom. Now with the last one we saw a good cavity in there, so air got in and it shrunk and some of it got out. Now we've also got the candy in there. I bet it's going to be toffee, but we'll see. I'm going to try and get this paper layer out of here, which, you know, when it gets soaked in old sugar, you know, that's about, like, this is paper, you know, but when it gets soaked up like that, it just, you know, it just comes right apart, and it's, you know, it might as well be charcoal. So, just going to work on getting some of this out of there. I mainly need to because this puck is going to be in the same kind of position as the last can, where it's in and of itself going to be right up against the edge of the can all the way around, and is not going to have any clearance from the can, let alone from something that's projecting out into the can. So I just got to make sure I scrape all that out of there. And where the toffee's attached at the corner in here, I got to kind of crack it away from there. Otherwise, it'll never release. Oh, there we go. There's some movement. Hey! Oh, sweet chocolate disc. This is just a big old chocolate disc. And it is a little soft. Let's see. Sugar, chocolate, vegetable fat, which has other than cocoa butter, whole milk solids, sorbitan monostearate. So yeah, this is just chocolate. And there's still some in there. Let's see. Well, just chocolate as far as Uncle Sam in the 1950s was concerned. And we have a second one, enriched sweet chocolate disc. Not a sweet chocolate disc anymore, says Kaylin. No, not exactly. So that last 91 MRE I had was corned beef hash, and that last stream I caught of yours, not yesterday, but the week or the one before, Smokey, where you had the corned beef hash. Man, oh man, like I like that ration, but it held up really well in both of our cases, it seems. Let's see. I must have missed something about what ended up in the wrong package, but sometimes that stuff happens. And sometimes you get weird rations that technically don't exist. I'm wearing one, but I think it's more of a, I don't know. I don't know exactly why they picked this. This is menu number 3, sausage with cream gravy. You know, sometimes affectionately referred to as SOS, which I'll let you do your own search there. But the sausage and cream gravy is a breakfast UGR, but I don't believe there was an MRE. I dug through the menus and could not find one. At least not a menu 3. But, you know, there might be one out there that happened once. Chicken a la King. Yeah, that was another good one. They made a LRP chicken a la King for a long time. Did I have a chicken a la King? No, there was a chicken and rice over here and something else. Chicken stew. But, okay, so we've got the plum jam to clean up. We've got the B2 can to derust. We've got the bottom of this can to clean up. And we've got these chocolate discs to clean up. So I think we're going to pause here for the week, and we're going to come back and see what we can do. If I work on any of these in between, I'll film it and I'll release it. Just trying to keep this moving, you know. And then we still have the pork sausage patties can to deal with, which has that. And we've got this bulged, exploded can of something, which we're going to do our best to clean up. And then I'm going to try and leave the top pretty much alone, other than a little removal of some of the surface stuff, because I'd like to try some techniques maybe in the future to look through rust and see what we can read, or look through, you know, the broken up surface and see if there's anything that remains in there, like infrared or something. But this can is in awful shape. It was probably beans of some kind, and it expanded and, you know, ate through in the end before popping. But there's big hole there, and the actual bottom has several holes. So it's going to be interesting if we can save much of that. But I'd like to, because this was overall pretty much a complete RCI, in that it had 6 of the cans and the accessory packet. And the only thing that doesn't seem to have survived the accessory packet might have been cigarettes. We're still not 100% certain. I'm going to have to look at some of the other ones.
Sorry. I'm going to have to look at some of the other ones that we've got in the collection back at the museum to see what we can see. So I'm going to wrap this up here for this week. We didn't get into the MCIs yet again, but we made some great progress here. You know, like I said, I'll get some pictures of the crackers and stuff so that we can keep them with this, but we're not going to hold on to those. And, you know, we'll be back next week. We might just do one more in here on this RCI. I'm not sure. Like I said, I do want to get to the point where we're doing some of the restoration stuff and releasing videos later. So we'll see how this all goes. I do have to move stuff back and forth. I don't know. Well, that might be where the new camera comes in. I have a computer I could set up here, and Yossi's new camera. I might be able to get a permanent stream set up here and one at the museum. We'll see. We'll see. I want to get this working, you know, with more time in the projects and less time in the setup and set design and all that stuff. So let's see. Wrong one. There we go. So just gonna wrap this up for, you know, this restoration stream. I'm really glad all you guys came out, and I hope you had a good time watching, you know, as we broke down some really old cans and cleaned up this fantastic looking peach jam. You know, let's take one more look inside there. Like, I'm just happy with that. You know, it turned out so nice, I think. You really just can't tell, you know, too easily that it's even been opened. And with that punch out ring still sealed, I'm very, very happy with this. Anyway, thanks guys for coming out. And as always, I'll be back next weekend at the same time, 5 o'clock Sunday, Eastern time. And until then, everybody, stay rational.